Hello, my dear Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Addo Aesthetics, the #1 coaching company for spa industry professionals wanting to step into the role of spa CEO. And today, I'm talking with a new friend of mine, Marchelle, all about memberships. Now, Marchelle is the VP of Sales at Mangomint, which is a software company that I am absolutely obsessed with. If you guys listen to the Mangomint episode in our spa software series, you will see why. We'll get that linked up below this episode as well. Now, Marchelle has been in the spa industry since 2006 and owned a successful member-based salon and sold it before joining Mangomint. So she has firsthand experience and insight to share with the company as they are continually tweaking the software to make it better and better. So if you're interested in membership at all, this is a great listen. If you're not interested in membership, you just may be after this episode. So let me do a quick read of Marchelle's bio, and then we will jump right in. Marchelle is the VP of Sales at Mangomint. She has a career in salon and spas that started in 2006 working as a hairstylist and an educator for Easy Hair Pro, teaching in salons and spas across the US and Canada until opening her own salon in 2013. While growing and ultimately selling her salon, she joined the Mangomint team in 2018 with hopes to make software invisible to salons, spas, and their customers. All right, I hope that you enjoy this interview, and let's go ahead and play it. All right, Marchelle, welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm so excited to jump into membership, which is one of my very, very favorite topics.
Thank you for having me, Daniela. I'm excited to be here, and I can echo that. I love memberships.
So take me back to when you first got into this industry. I know now you're at Mangomint, you're in a different kind of season of life in your career, but you were a salon owner, you sold your business, you had a lot of memberships, and that was a big part. Take me back to wherever you want in your journey of getting into this industry and what led you into opening your business.
Yeah. I got my cosmetology license in 2000, I think it was like 2006, end of 2006. And when I joined the industry, I joined in the salon side. So I joined a salon where I trained as a hair cutter, and it left me yearning for like a lot of different pieces. It was a wonderful salon. I had the best education I could have ever hoped for. But shortly thereafter, I think I was there for about 4 years, I started yearning for something that I could like maybe control, but also build. And so in 2013, I opened my salon in San Diego, and we started with hair, hair cutting, hair coloring, added hair extensions. I taught and educated for a hair extension company. And soon thereafter, I decided to bring in like a nail technician. She was a natural nail technician. And this is when my wheels really started turning in terms of the things I was coaching on. At this time, I also brought on a couple local salon or spa owners and coached them. And one of the things that I kept seeing was there's a lot of pressure in our industry to like create a loyalty program, or how do you reward loyal and faithful customers? And it never resonated with me for a couple of reasons. One, when you go to Sephora or Ulta and you get to the register and they're like,
they just want your phone number, or I'm like, no.
Can I get your phone number? And then they're like, you have 1,742 points. Would you like to claim this dinky little thing? Or we can take off $5, or maybe it's 10. But that's the whole point, is like, I have no idea what those points mean. It does not, I'm going to come back to you regardless, because you're the local store that has this one particular thing I need. But it wasn't meaningful. Like that point is not what brought me back in. And so when I thought about it in the salon or spa space, I started to think that our customers either are or are not loyal and faithful to us, not because of points, but because of something else. And what is that? Well, it's a service that they want to recur and get on a, frequent or very frequent basis with us, whether that's monthly, bi-monthly, whatever that is. And so when looking at the services that a customer gets monthly, at that time for me, the reason I brought on nails was actually, I'll totally shout her out. Her name was Bronte. She was a San Diego-based nail tech, and it was an experience when I would go and see her. I had never experienced something like it. The care she gave to the cuticle, the way she taught me about my own nail bed. And she was the first person that I saw like dead consistent. Every 2 weeks, I was in her chair. And I started to think like, if I could just have this as a membership, I'm already coming twice a month, but maybe there was additional perks there. And so that's how I think about a membership is this is a way to reward the people who are already loyal and faithful to you. And then you can give them, an added value, whether that is, and we can get more into this, like whether that is locking them in at their current price for whatever period of time for that membership, or giving them an additional perk. So 10% off products. So things like that. And that was like the solution to me and to my salon and spa friends in San Diego that I was coaching, which I do not do anymore. But that was the thing that was like, it clicked. This is about the recurring revenue. And this is about rewarding your loyal and faithful customers who are already there, already doing that. And then they will spread the word. So that's kind of how I got into that in my own business.
Now tell me, when you were building your membership, when you had your spa, did you have an exit strategy? Did you know that you were building this to sell, or were you, a lot of spa owners, they don't think about that until they're already kind of in it. Am I selling this? Am I passing this to my kids? Do I want to become an owner and not an operator? What is my path?
Yes. Yeah. I had, which I think was like my biggest fault as a business owner. I had zero intention going into it of exit. I started my business with a partner, and everyone told me, don't go in 50-50, don't go in 50-50. And I totally understand that concept, but like I had to live that to understand that. And after exiting that partnership, I had like a list of things. And this is about 3 years into owning the business. I had a list of things that I knew I needed to address personally and within the business. And where those intersected was, okay, I know that there is a way I can make a bigger effect on this industry. I don't know where that is, but I have a list of things that I want to accomplish in order to get the business running in a way where I can focus on external things and step away from working behind the chair. So now we're in 2017, and I decide, this is like end of 2017, that top of the list, I start checking things off. One is I needed to create, recurring revenue within the business. And I didn't get quite there until closer to end of 2018. And what I kind of realized is like technology was lacking. We were using a software that was a little bit clunky. It didn't feel intuitive. Bringing somebody on was like this whole entire process. And, we didn't have integrated payments. So I realized that there were things that I physically had to go into the business to be able to see what was going on. And that was like a light bulb for me. That's not working. That's not sustainable. If I think I can do something else, which at this time, I still didn't know what that was. I didn't know if I was selling the business. I didn't know if I was changing my entire career. And that's when I decided, okay, we're redoing software. There's got to be a software out there that actually has integrated payments, that I can see everything that's going on in the business from my cell phone on a beach in France, which I actually did. That's when I found Mangomint, who is my current employer. And I met the CEO, Daniel, and I realized this is what I want to do. Like, I don't know where I fit in this company yet, but I knew within 2 weeks, basically, that I wanted to work in tech, that I wanted to work in the salon and spa space in tech. And this is when I really started looking at Bluxom as this entity that if I plug software in the right places to where I can be more of an absentee owner and it can have recurring revenue, this is something that I could actually package and sell. And then I could work in the tech side to create a software that supported businesses in building something that was transferable and meaningful to whoever is potentially looking at your business as something to purchase. Where I failed is actually building out that recurring revenue side before I sold. I think it ended up working out okay, but in the looking back hindsight, it's 2020. If you are selling a salon or spa, you're not really selling anything. Cool, you have equipment, but that doesn't mean anything. You're essentially selling a client list. Great if you have loyal and faithful customers, but they're generally loyal and faithful to you or to the person they see. They're not generally loyal and faithful to the brand name, especially because when you sell something, inevitably change happens. Mm-hmm. That said, when you're looking at a business, if you had $30,000 a month, this is a real number that I see all the time with our customers, of recurring revenue, now you've got a client list with details and notes and juicy information on those customers, but you also are selling $30,000 a month of cards on file that you can show have been charged consistently for however many months. So it creates like an entire different business than the one that's just basically the client list with maybe 6 weeks booked out.
Yeah. When I talk to spa owners, and I feel like spa and salon, like we're cousins, there's a lot of differences that happen in the world, but we're definitely related. And our spa owners, if they start out with their name on the door and they're a solo esthetician, mm-hmm. it's really hard to get away from that. But if you start by building an actual company and having them have the experience at your company, it's the experience of how your company makes them feel. Absolutely. And when you have membership, you're not starting at zero every month, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe that allows the owner to make decisions that are not fear-based or not coming out of scarcity. It's what's the actual vision for the company? Because so often when we're building a business, it really in the first 5 years, it's who are we? What are we about? How am I going to make enough money to pay myself? It's like all this, like just flying by the seat of our pants really is what it kind of feels like. When you have recurring revenue, which most typically is through membership, there's a few options in spa where we can do subscriptions on products, et cetera. But for the most part, the bulk of the revenue is coming through membership. You are able to know that your rent, your payroll, all of these things, if you have those paid off or taken care of, you're with cash flow, you can take more risk. You can take more strategic decisions. You can spend more time building strategic partnerships with others in the industry, and therefore your company. Forget about 30,000 a month. You can get far higher than that, right? I know in the spa world, there's lots of spas that have 300, 400, 500 members every single month that they're also upgrading to other services. And when you get a lifetime customer value that's increased so much because of the membership, it's tremendous. So I want to talk about Mangomint for a minute here, because you guys introduced a membership software. Is that right? Or you have a membership aspect in your software? It's being developed in your software.
So it is developed. Yeah. Memberships we launched, I want to say it was early 2020. That was obviously a murky time for my memory, but I want to say membership launched April 2020. I could be wrong, but what we really wanted to create was something that hummed in the background. It's not top of mind, but what it does is it gives you a peek inside. Like you can lift up the hood. Like right now, you can pull a, retention report, or let's say, retention report of new clients, how many of them returned within 90, 180 days. But the ones that didn't return, actually figuring out who those customers are, you then have to pull in. This is whatever software you're using. There's something really beautiful about the membership. And I loved this from the beginning when we started, is we can see exactly who canceled their membership. And it gives you this insight as a business owner as to like, these little peaks of, okay, if we created this beautiful membership for people who are already coming in, why are they canceling? So when we launched it, it was really interesting because we actually had quite a few businesses that were just in their infancy, maybe opened their doors a month prior to the pandemic hitting, especially in California. And what was a really interesting thing was watching those who had just started building up their memberships and how many of those customers said, actually, just keep my membership active so I can support you through your closure. Mm-hmm. And, they were allowing them to bank those credits for when they reopened. So all of this is happening at once. We launch memberships, we see people go hard with selling them, and then we see revenue still happening while doors are closed. And then we started watching the doors reopen, and we're seeing businesses. When I mentioned the case study that I was referring to, that's doing within 3 months of reopening their doors post-COVID shutdown, they had $30,000 a month in recurring revenue, and that was only 50% of their total service revenue. So those are the kind of like juicy, powerful memberships that Mangomint really wanted to create, and we made it really simple. You build your membership. You can do it in a couple different ways within our platform, but I think for me, like the membership I'm a part of where I live is a 60-minute massage or a 60-minute facial every month, $90. It's a steal of a deal. You can upgrade when you go in. I think they have a 90-minute version as well. And so you get a credit for this or that. Mm-hmm. And in Mangomint, that's exactly how you build it. You click the service you want, you click the other service. So it's this or that, or it's this and this. And you can have as many in terms of quantity as you want. So make it stupid simple, create what that is. I personally believe in service-based memberships because I think that the consumer, when they can connect to what that actually is that they're getting, not too many options. It's chocolate or vanilla, bacon or sausage. So I prefer that model, personal preference, but we have
that's what we coach on as well. Okay, it's cool. Yeah. The brand that does everything is the brand that does nothing. So it's like service A, service B, facial, massage, facial, hydrofacial, whatever you're doing. And then 10% off retail, 15% off upgrades, whatever the, additional benefits, members only events. But the more simple and clear that you can keep it,
yes,
the better. And because when someone comes out of a facial fog and we're like, we have 8 different memberships. If you like to wax, or if you like body contouring, if you like this, it's like, no way. A confused mind is always going to say no. So the more simple that you have it, the better. And we also, I know you and I are aligned in this, but we also believe in creating a client journey for that membership, what are the touch points for when they first join at the 30-day mark, 60-day mark, 90-day mark, and so on, so that we're really focusing on making those members feel seen, heard, valued.
Yeah.
Because the more that you can build that deeper relationship, those are going to be the people that in the hard times, I want to support you through COVID being shut down, or, being shut down because of the pandemic. I want to support you through this. Those relationships don't get built with the people that come in twice a year, for the most part. I don't want to, say never, but for the most part, the more frequent you see somebody, the deeper the relationship that you have, the more they're going to support you and your business.
Absolutely. And that's it's nice to see that echoed in the work that we've done at Mangomint, but it's interesting that it's actually really, I got chills when you mentioned how you coach your memberships. That is exactly what Mangomint does. And it's interesting because people want to go, okay, I want to build, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, and if it works for you, great, but I'm just going to speak from personal experience. How many times I've either gone to a business or heard a salon or spa owner say, I want to build this membership and it's going to be, this facial or that facial, but they only get a discount on this product, this product, this product. This one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. This service doesn't. It's immediately a turnoff for your customer. Keep it stupid simple and really build something that is meaningful to them and adds value. If you give them I mentioned the spa that I go to in my town. They give me 10%. Actually, you know what? I think it's 5% off products, but I'll tell you, that's the difference in me going and shopping online or going to Sephora and just purchasing the Eminence line from them because it is 5% off. And I'm there. They have me as this captive audience.
I think they should be doing 10. If I were coaching them, I would tell them 10, but
it's funny because I ended up churning out of their membership. And I was thinking about it the other day and kind of thinking about meeting with you. And I was like, why did I stop going? And to be honest, there was 2 challenges that I was having. One, 3 times in a row, my appointment was canceled. And it gave me the feeling at this time, their membership was $75 a month. So it was facial or massage. And it gave me the feeling that members, and this brings me to a really good point about membership, that members were almost undervalued because they had underpriced their membership. Mm-hmm. And so when I canceled, I was like, okay, it's $75 a month. It's so inexpensive for an hour-long massage and facial, especially in my town. And then going back to them, when I was going to sign up again, I noticed that they raised the price and it was more like a 20% increase. And I was like, well, that's more like it. It's still very affordable. But what was interesting was that's where they failed from the beginning. Is instead of looking at a membership like a premium experience, they were trying to create a discount experience. And then when their service providers were going to provide those types of services, they almost didn't want to because they were probably getting their commission on the discounted price.
So and I'm glad that you brought that up. Something that we coach on and believe in very much is your members are nobody gets a better deal than your members. Your members get, a lot of times they'll get preferred scheduling. They'll get members only events. We have spas that send Mother's Day flowers to every single one of their members, and just doing all kinds of things to make them feel like the most VIP person. Like membership is like, we're going to roll out the red carpet for you. And if you don't feel like that in your location, if you have a membership and you haven't booked your appointment and someone's not calling you to say, hey, Marchelle, I saw that you weren't booked this month. I know you must be really busy. I just wanted to be proactive and help you get that, taken care of. People are afraid to pick up the phone. But when you take a membership, when you have a membership and you really focus on it and treat those people like VIPs, you grow so fast. And as you alluded to, if selling your company is part of your exit strategy, whether that's, a year from now or 10 years from now, the valuation of your company goes up by hundreds of thousands of dollars if you have a membership. So it is absolutely worth your time.
And it's never too late to correct course in a membership, but also if anyone is considering building it, I think like the 2 things that are coming out of this past 3 minutes of our conversation is, one, if you're just starting out in a membership, there's the example I gave where they went wrong was trying to make it a value-based or like a discount-based to sell it, when really, let's put it in simple terms. If your 60-minute basic facial and your 60-minute massage is $90 and you're about to start a membership, in my opinion, the membership should be $90. And then any non-member should go up to
increase by 20%. Yep.
So that's number one. If you are currently doing memberships and you have, you thought about it in the way of saying, oh, a member is 75 or a member is 85. I encourage you to across the board, make that increase and then level up your membership. Like you just said, like roll out that red carpet, like nurture these people, because the more you nurture them and you give them that 10% off additional services, 10% off additional products, that's where that like growth comes. Like it comes in the other areas. And then you stop worrying about the staff member who is thinking, okay, now 80% of my books are these members, but they are getting a lower price than what I used to be charging. So you never want to go backwards when building a membership. And that's something that I've really seen. This should benefit the business and the client.
So one way to be really thoughtful as you're creating your membership is to first take a look at your menu of services, understand your cost of treatment and profitability on each service. So really look at, how much am I spending on consumables? What am I spending on payroll? What is this? Is this priced appropriately to begin with?
Right.
And then what can I go down to? Do I need a price increase? Really looking at all of those things. And when you launch a membership, it is a great opportunity to increase your prices concurrently with the launch of the membership, so that it's like, if you want to be a membership, your price is going to stay the same, so it gives that added benefit. And it's also not as, I'm going to just use quotes here and say scary, because a lot of people hate raising their prices, but it's not as scary to do it if you're saying, but you can keep your price the same if you join the membership and do a 6-month commitment.
It's literally rolled into a perfectly wrapped present. You tie the bow on top. It's the person who rolls out of that 60-minute facial. And as you're walking to the front, like, you may have seen signage around if you use that, or you use marketing emails to communicate your membership. And it's simply a question of, Daniela, I hope you loved your facial today. I've noticed you come in every month. We've just launched our membership. If you want to remain at the $90 price, you can join our membership. Otherwise, your next facial outside of membership would be $110. Which do you prefer? Again, it's chocolate or vanilla. It's like such an easy, smooth conversation.
It doesn't have to be pushy.
No, it's just, do you prefer this or that? It's so simple, but needless to say, that is something that needs to be rehearsed. It needs to be structured. It needs to be communicated through your team. And obviously, I think this is what's so beautiful. Any Addo Aesthetics, someone who listens to your podcast that comes through our channels, they have such an eloquent way of communicating what their needs are, what they're looking for. And I go, oh yeah, I know where you've been.
Well, I love that. Yeah, we talk a lot about memberships. It's just, we try and teach all of our listeners, everyone in the spa industry, about being an entrepreneur first and really looking at building the business, because so often we start out as providers. We start out, I'm an esthetician. So many of our clients started out as solo estheticians. They move into building a company. Think about how much time you're spending learning how to dermaplane, or learning how to do facial massage, or learning how to microneedle, or the actual skill. But how much time are you actually spending on learning how to build your business? Mm-hmm. And so these are the types of things that you have to understand: cost treatment. You have to understand profitability. You have to understand how to have tough conversations. You have to understand how to hire, how to register as an employer in your state. That was such a tricky one for me the first time I started hiring employees, all of these things. But membership is part of that, is creating a strategic business decision to help your company grow, and therefore serve more people at a higher level, provide more for your employees. The more money that you have, the more that you can give, and the better experience you can create. So
I think that's such a great piece to think about. So I think about my journey. I went into contract on selling my salon at the beginning of 2020. We didn't close until end of 2020, but it was one of those things where I realized, now being a full-time employee of a startup tech company, I realized for me, I didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me to grind through building out the memberships, or to grind through building the team that really needed to be in place in order to have that success. And I recognized that in a period where it was like, okay, I can create this other opportunity for these people who are here, however that works out. But I, fast forward a few years, am so abundantly happy as an employee of a company. I love it.
Can I just honor you for saying that? Because so often it's like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur.
No,
you don't have to. There are so many spas that are looking for really great employees. And so often people get into this mode of, I'm a solo, now I've got to build a team, but they hate leading, they hate numbers, they just want to be in the room.
Yeah.
there's opportunity for that. There's opportunity, and it's okay to change your mind.
Yes. And I love what you do, because I hired a coach. I couldn't have done it without it. I had a fantastic bookkeeper who still, kind of has tons of small business salon and spa owners in her book, because if you don't plug in the right people and you're not somebody who naturally knows those things on your own, you're going to be grinding through, you're going to be like trudging through mud your entire career. And it's something that I'm the type of person that I observed that in myself, and I knew what it was, but I also saw what it was for the ones who were successful, who were really loving getting into building out that thing and creating a team and growing in that direction, crossing over 6 figures for themselves, and then running with their team towards even 7. So I think it's really important to look at the resources around you, check in with yourself, and figure out where that is. If you're going to be building memberships, you got to go all in. Like, you have to do it right, or it will fail. It won't work.
100%. Yeah.
And it's like, what's your level of commitment? Because I always look at it like I am 100% committed to everything that I choose to do, but I'm 100% unattached to whether it completely works out in the way my mind's eye saw it or not, and know when it's time to pivot and make those changes. So what I've loved about my career at Mangomint is I get to work with hundreds of salon and spa owners every year. I get to see what works. I get to see what fails. And I think that's the thing that really stands out to me about even a solopreneur that comes through and uses Mangomint. I've got solo providers paying $395 a month for their software because they want to build their tech stack in a way where the software is running. Anyone who starts a membership gets the drip campaign, the 30, 60, 90 email through Klaviyo, and they don't want to think about it. Where I've got some salon owners that come in with 10 service providers, reasonably, they have enough people and room to be doing really high volume, but they think that $165 a month is way too much for software. And again, I'm 100% committed to seeing what you need to run your business, but I'm 100% unattached to whether you choose to use Mangomint or not. It's really about committing to whatever it is you're building. And if it's memberships and you really commit to it, that's one that will take you to winner's circle, no doubt.
I love that. Anything else about memberships that you want to add to make this episode feel complete for you?
Just because I know we'll let it come up in the comments, but one thing that I always get asked is for businesses that are offering higher end facials or higher end services that require equipment and they could cost very much. Mm-hmm. Even a lot of the sculpting businesses, they always ask, can we do an accrual based membership? And we do also offer those within Mangomint. And I have been kind of digging in a little bit further into seeing how those work. Basically, what's nice about the way that it works in Mangomint is it's still really simple. You choose 99, 150 or 250 a month, and those accrue on basically a gift card on a credit in your account. Then you can use towards whatever services you're receiving in that time you come in. That is a model that I am seeing can be beneficial for businesses that offer truly a ton of different service types or really expensive services. So med spas as well, if you've got injectables. I've seen those models and I have seen it work before. The downside to that is that one of the main benefits of membership is that frequency of visit, and you don't get that with the accrual. And so I agree.
That's it. I 99% of the time will always recommend that monthly model.
I love that. I'm personal opinion with you on that, but it inevitably gets asked. That's really the basis of memberships. I really like to keep it that simple. You build it, you keep it simple. It's this or that. You market it, and you don't. It's so funny. This is another thing. You don't really have to market it. Everyone who should be your member should already be on your table once a month. Capture them.
I disagree, because I think that if you're growing your membership, there's a period where, yes, your existing clients, you want to serve those loyal. But as you're growing, there are marketing strategies to address getting new clients in and getting new people.
That's your specialty for sure.
Okay.
For me, I always think it's so funny where somebody thinks they have to start a membership and like they might sit there for a month with no members. Like the momentum starts with who's right there already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a snowball. And then, the marketing piece, that is something that Mangomint does not do. Like that has to be unique to your business and how you build that, which is something you do a fantastic job on coaching on. So we'll definitely leave that in your wheelhouse.
Thank you. All right. So we'll link up the Mangomint website. Any other links that you want to include below this in the show notes?
I would just say, if you're curious about even just how to build a membership, Mangomint has the great free trial and you can just hop in there. There'll be like a demo mode with memberships in there, fake cards on file. You can literally start one and just see how easy it is. I know plenty of softwares that do it, but the one thing that, I think has to happen is it's gotta be easy for you as well. So if you're not using the right technology to make that recurring automated, that's another sticky area that could potentially cause you to fail. Like if I get to the front desk and they don't know where my membership credit is and they have to find it here and apply it there, it's just not going to work. So yeah, I would say, hop on there. Something else that's kind of cool about Mangomint, we don't use any bots. So if you do get on the website and you have questions, click the chat bubble and there'll be a real person there to help you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, your expertise. I think this is a very valuable episode. If you guys want to keep the conversation going, make sure you head on over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group. You can always ask our team questions inside of there. We're happy to help you, happy to support you in growing your business. We'll catch you on the next episode.